the kind of Reverend. He said he's warming up for tonight. Sex was created by God, given as a gift of God to married people. And it is meant to be enjoyed. Stop pretending and looking at me as if I'm the only one that understands sex. You know, some of you had sex before you came this evening. That's both. Let's shatter the table. And you're not, it's not something you should be shy about. As long as it is done within the context of marriage, as Christians, as believers. And it is supposed to be enjoyed by the man and the woman. You see now? You see this thing? When we were growing up, it was silent. But if you want sex and you invite your husband, your mother had silently told you that you are like a prostitute. Or one auntie who did not enjoy sex, who was in her third marriage, and she was the one advising you on your wedding night. As you go now, when your husband is sleeping with you, don't be shouting, oh, hey, woo, and you didn't know that it's talk. Wait for him to invite you. Don't ever invite him. Oh. Otherwise, he will see you as a prostitute. You see, you know how these things take. A woman should not. A woman. That's a lie. You're supposed to enjoy it. It's God's gift. Why will you not be shouting? Why will you not be screaming when your husband is sleeping with you? It means you are not enjoying it. And there are many reasons why people don't enjoy sex. Some things are fundamental. If you don't want to hear, just block your ears, because and you better learn it. We wish we were told when we were young. When your wife's needs are not met emotionally, she cannot respond very well when you're sleeping with her. The woman that your junior brother insulted, and you were there, you didn't say nothing. The woman that one sister in church disobeyed as your wife, you now want to sleep with her. When you want to sleep with a woman at 9 p.m., you start preparing her at 6 a.m. That's how it works. A woman needs 13, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 13, 1, 3 meaningful touches per day. It's not that they say we should touch you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You squeeze her hand, you tickle her, you know. I think some of them are rehearsing there. You don't shut her down and expect her. A woman needs, thank you, foreplay and afterplay. Thank you. Foreplay and afterplay. It's not that after you have charged, the next thing is. Thank you. Are there husbands and wives that are sitting together now? Reverend, we have. If you are single, please stand up. Sit down. When next I come, we will have married separate. So, Reverend, let's not talk about sex because I'm going to be too graphic. These children. I know what I'm saying. So when we want to talk to married people, when next I come, if you're in a relationship and you're about getting married, we will ask you to join us. I will have a time with singles. Then I will have a time with. So you'll find a way to do it. Maybe we'll start earlier. We'll have 1 hour with singles. We'll have, so it won't be together. Otherwise, I will just waste your time because I will not be. We're talking about sex. I will not be able to dig, and I want to dig. Digger. They said I should dig. Let me take your questions, please. Thank you for these questions. Is it okay for me to use sex toy? Thank you. Are you answering? Is it okay for me to masturbate in order to satisfy myself when my husband or my wife is not around? Traveled for long. They copa me, mama answer. Okay. There's what you call order. O-R-D-E-R. Order. It's one of the greatest principles that govern the earth. That is why the sun does not shine at 2 a.m. Order. Nature teaches decency. God did not create the penis for the mouth. I know I have gone into something else. In 1 Corinthians, Paul will be talking and then he will say, this is by the Spirit of God. He will say, this is me. This is me as a person. Whatever a couple does, and that's a correct grammar, a couple is singular. Whatever a couple does in their bedroom is their business. I don't interfere. If they think it's oral sex, they want to, it's their business. But I'm speaking as a marriage counselor. And I'm talking about, I'm a law student. And sometimes in class, the lecturer will say, you're talking about morals. We're talking about law. There's a difference. So, I'm speaking as a Yoruba girl. I'm speaking as a marriage counselor. I'm speaking from decency. And I'm speaking from my faith, my personal faith. Sex toy. So, oral sex, sex toy, masturbation. These are perversions instituted by the devil to discredit sex in marriage. And the fact that something is popular does not make it right. The fact that a bishop is doing it, he's not God now, does not make it right. I understand you that you are used to sex and your husband has traveled for a long time. Is it possible for you to find a way to travel with him once in a while? Because maybe you're still young and you need sex. Is it possible for your husband to please find a way to show up, even if he has to quickly travel back? Because problem is brewing. If you're not careful, you're going to go into adultery. If you're not careful, your husband is going to go into adultery. You need to find a way to work it out. Oral sex or masturbation is not the solution. If you're not careful, the devil will take over your mind and possess it, twist it. In fact, you will start believing that it is right. Remember, I told you this is my opinion. And I believe I have the Spirit of God. So can you find a way so that you and your husband, except that maybe he's abroad and then he doesn't have a paper and all that. That's another kettle of fish entirely. How are we sure that he's not even married there? You need to know what is going on there for people to have paper. Let me not even go into that. So if you still want that marriage, I don't want you to start what you cannot finish. Because if you're a child of God, you'll be feeling guilty. The devil will be accusing you. The Spirit of God will be convicting you. Somehow. Because you have the Spirit of God on your inside. It's not the solution. Can you quickly find a way to reconnect with your husband so that this temptation will be taken care of? Meanwhile, you might want to start a new hobby, like swimming, like learning the piano, like just to distract you, like volunteering for something. You go, by the time you come back, you are so tired, you don't even know anything about sex toy, and when God sees that you are trying to please him, he will work something out for you. I don't know if I honestly want to get married very early in life, but as I am looking, it seems that that won't be possible. The knowledge, money, and capacity I don't have. I just crushed that now. Remember, maybe you wrote this before I started that teaching. You have it. How do I go about that? Also, can you explain how to find the perfect woman? Hello? In law, there is what you call fundamental human rights. The person that asks this question is entitled. So stop booing him. Stop shouting at him. It's his right. That's what we call freedom of expression. I'm happy that he asked that question. I'm going to start from the end. There's no perfect man or woman anywhere. If you look at yourself, you know that you are not perfect. Then the next thing I want to say that, are you born again? If you're a child of God, how does God speak to you? When you wanted to give 200 naira to that person or in church, did God tell you to increase it? You wanted to overtake when you were driving and it just occurred to you. These might be ways by which God speaks to you. When it is time to get married, God will not shout from heaven, "Behold, Funke is your wife." The same way you have trained your spirit, your mind, is the same way he's going to use to speak to you. So, and you're going to be able to answer these questions when you see the person. Do you like her? Do you love her? Are you ready to spend the rest of your life? Do you have peace? Every time you remember this person, how do you feel? Do you feel scared? You might want to maybe speak to your pastor. I don't know what happens in your ministry. In our ministry, before you go talk to a sister, we encourage you to speak to your pastor because that sister might have been engaged. Somebody told me one day when I was pastoring a branch that God told him that this is his wife. I just pulled my drawer out and I brought the invitation card. I said, she's getting married next week. Which God told you? So to avoid confusion in the church, you might need to seek counsel or talk to. God can use anybody to introduce you. And then there is no time you will ever get to a situation and say, I have enough money now. No. The more you have, the more you want to have. The more you have, the capacity, the this and that. And it's important to be the right person and find the right person. So continue to build your capacity. Water will find its level. And be conscious of the fact that, okay, I'm going to get married one day, so I cannot afford to eat with 10 fingers. Let me make some investments. I don't want to be dependent on my wife. I don't want to be taking offering from my wife. When my wife asks me for money, I want to be able to give. It makes a man to have respect, to earn respect. It doesn't matter how much your wife earns. You don't need to. Your money is our money. Her money is her money. That's how it works. So stop putting your... Look, men, You are going to be the one paying for this. So you pay for light. I will pay for something. You pay for this. It's because you don't have enough. So God needs to lift your head. And you are the one that will buy exercise book. Me, I have paid school fees now. So you want to kill me? I just shattered all those now. So as a man, start thinking. My husband is in full-time ministry, but he's also in full-time business. He plants pepper. The money he makes from pepper, green pepper, taffin, jollof rice. My husband, fried rice, yes. He has poultry, eggs. If your ministry, and we have many branches. What do you do Monday to Friday? You are counseling. Times have changed. Hebrews 1:1. Times have changed. These people, you better do something. Farming is the future now. Even IT is shaking small. Farming is the future. My husband's pigs, he sells 170. And that one delivered 18. One woman sold her pigs 3 million from pigs. And you sit there, you are praying in tongues. The angels don't even understand what you are saying. Even God is asking, what's he saying? 70% of the people in your church, you are still the one giving them taxi. You pay their school fees. Do something. That fertile land everywhere. Get people. Pay them. Let them. If you see his farm. And I told you the last time I came. Me too. So I can wear what I like. I can give in church. This is wisdom speaking. And it's not that I'm not spiritual. God can meet all my needs. I heard that every bottle of Coke we drink, there's a family in this Nigeria, every Coke, every Fanta, they get something from it. So I quickly joined. One day, it was only $10 I spent to buy shares. I bought. You see, these things, they didn't teach us early. You take the whole world, just give me, this line, give me the whole world and give me Jesus. You should not be broke. You should not be poor. You should not be broke perpetually. If your church is building, whether you are whatever, your own should be there. I know what I'm talking about. So you have the capacity. It may not look like it, but we don't work by sight. Is it okay for a Christian to marry a Muslim? No. No. Because the word religion in Latin, it's religionem, which means to bind together. Religion, money, play crucial roles in marriage. After the wedding, you're going to realize that there will be conflict of faith. On Sunday mornings, you're going to church. He's going to the mosque. When you have children, how do you want to raise them? You say, but my man is very liberal. Let me tell you the truth. There is something going on now. They are trying to marry Christian ladies because we are submissive. We are good girls and all that. It's a tactic of the devil. Do you see these? I don't want them to be quoting me now. Do you see these actresses? Because of money. I look at them and I'm shaking my head. The money that you can make, because the man is taking you to Maldives now, taking you to, that you can buy the ticket to, you change your faith. When eternity comes and there is no more Gucci bag. So my dear, be careful. Be careful. Faith, religion plays a role so that you will not say you were not warned. It's not all that glitters that is gold. There is more to it than I like him, I love him. Every marriage goes through some stages. The first stage is honeymoon. The second stage is reality stage. Reality is different from the 5 phases. This is stage. If a marriage will break or it will stand. And the way they are raised. I've learned this thing in law. The way they are raised. Except Acts chapter 9 happens again. It's not likely to become a Christian. The way they are raised. Thank you so much, Mama, for your wealth of wisdom. For a pastor whose wife is not impacting his ministry and doesn't care if his ministry of over a decade wrecks due to her nonchalant and overbearing attitude, which is obvious to all church members. Yes, she's threatening to leave the house and end the marriage. What advice do we give that kind of a pastor who cares about what people have to say? Definitely, there's a fundamental problem in that marriage. That woman had been going to church before. He now stops. Something is going on. Maybe pastor is not paying attention to her. The woman is screaming and shouting. The man is not hearing. Because pastors are polygamists. They are married to their church and then their wives. It takes a lot. So before we start judging that woman, she's going through pains. Don't tell me she's a witch. She's going through. And pastor is thinking, you are a devil. You don't want my ministry to continue. If you want to leave, that is even more painful. It's even more painful. So both of them need to be cancelled. I wish I knew them. My husband and I would be more than willing to help them. Because we will listen to that woman. That woman is loaded. Until you live with some people, you don't know. Forget about preaching. Anybody can preach. That woman has stories to tell. I'm not saying she's perfect. I'm not saying she's an angel, but we need to listen to her. Otherwise, this marriage is going to end the rate at which it is going. And I'm not prophesying evil, but we've seen enough to know that. Mama, please, I want clarification and advice. I'm 26 years now, and my hobby to be is 28 years. And as at now, he's requesting for marriage, latest next year. And I'm not agreeing with it because I want to put in for my degree program. And boys on the older now, I can't do it. But he's insisting that after marriage I can go to school. What should I do? There are 2 questions here. You are 26, is 28. Now listen. In psychology, if a woman is 26, she's actually 28. In psychology. If a man is 28, he's 28. A woman is so, as I'm 60 now, I'm actually 62. A woman's level of maturity is different from her chronological age. Even the way our brains, I did a course in brain development. Even the way our brains develop. If you are looking at the chronological, he's 26 and 28. I know couples that, and I said couples, so it's not just one. The woman is 4 years older. One, even they have a set of twins. Those twins, they are grown now. Are you sure you'll be able to submit to him? When I talk about submission, I'm not talking about subjugation. When the man is sleeping with you, I hope you'll not be thinking, hey, is he not my junior brother? That is. Are you mature enough to handle? Because there will be some psychological things. Oh, if you know that you will not be able to, thank you, sir. If you know that you will not be able to, please hold on. Then my advice is that start schooling. Register and start before you go into marriage. After marriage, you're going to get pregnant. The man will be telling you there's no more money. Or let me, law school. You will need this advice that I just gave you. You will thank me later. Start. Even if your wedding is next year, register now. Be in part 1. Get married. If you want to marry him. If the man is insisting that you should not go to school, I query his love for you. I really query it. That may be a sign. But if it's okay that you can go to school now, register. That's my counsel. Good evening, Mom. I really thank God for meeting you personally. Thank you. Thank you for the teachings. I met a guy a few months ago. We started talking. And a few weeks ago, I fell in love with him. I leave her now. It's alive. And with the level at which I know myself, I love him so much. So I'd like to ask, is it right for me to give him signals? And I think he likes me to. Yes. Why not? When we're growing up as Christians, they say, don't say yes on time. The man will just go and marry another person. You like him, he likes you. Give him signal. What is signal? Give him the go ahead. And you don't need to cut for 5 years. If you are ready, you have graduated, you are working. He can afford. I go and get married. You don't even need to have an elaborating. Because after every wedding comes a marriage. Go ahead, my dear. Congratulations in advance. Okay. Is kissing a sin in a relationship? Because I've been in a relationship for 4 years and my partner says kissing before marriage is not a sin. So far we are both faithful. Okay, so we can close and go home. Oh, now please listen. Thank you, sir. There is something about physical touch when it comes to someone with which you are in love. If I hold Reverend Femi's hand now, nothing will do my body. If he holds his wife, the woman may tell him, let's get home. Because the kind of Reverend he said he's warming up for tonight. Even you. How many times have you touched her? So, the reason, so when we talk about kissing, you hold that person. You put your mouth. It's more than that is happening. Chemistry. Hormones. You are setting up some fire. You may do it today and say, nothing happened. You will need to do it tomorrow. Yes. And next tomorrow. And next one. And before you know it. Now, ladies, let me tell you this. When fornication takes place, you lose. That's the way it is. Don't let anybody deceive you. The heart of man, not the heart of woman, is desperately wicked. Forgive me, men, but I'm saying things. Remember Tamar and Amnon. The hatred was more, the Bible is complete. There's nothing you are looking for that you will not find. Now that it's still doing you like this, if something happens, as good as the man looks now, and you are not yet married, it's not just about him. Attachment, his parents say, no, I'm not ready. When a man impregnates you, you are sending a signal that you are irresponsible. It's a signal. They may not tell you, but even your in-laws say you are this cheap. Not sure. Okay. So it's a lot. That's why we counsel you that, look, true love waits. Why don't you wait or go get married? Go get married. You don't need to have 50,000 people at your wedding. Go get married. So you can have the license. And the reason why you are feeling this way is because you're a child of God. So when you don't know, is it right? Is it not right? Be careful. I may have spoken as an old school. Your pastor is new school. He will correct it if I'm.